Good afternoon, Susan and peers. My name is Beru Cakrazli, and today I will be analysing the Pharmaceuticals recall crisis that occurred in April 2003. Firstly, I will provide a brief overview on the Pharmaceuticals company, followed by an analysis for the cause of the crisis. Thereafter, I will explore the key stakeholders of Pharmaceuticals and the impact the crisis had on both of them, and to conclude, I will address how Pharmaceuticals managed the crisis and what strategies they employed. Pharmaceuticals Limited was Australia's leading contract healthcare manufacturer for mineral and herbal products such as pharmaceutical, vitamins, oils, specialty and beauty, amino acids, enzymes, food products, herbs and sports and fitness products. With an Australian stock exchange trading value of over 300 million, Pharmaceutical manufactured thousands of products in Australia and exported its products to 62 countries. On April 28, 2003, Australia had witnessed the biggest medical product recall in Australian history. Led by an investigation by the Therapeutics Good Administration, a division of the Australian Department of Health established under the Therapeutic Goods Act 1989, Pharmaceuticals was enforced to recall its products. In line with their duties to manage and ensure the quality, safety and efficiency of any therapeutic goods supplied or produced in Australia, TGA called for an immediate investigation after 19 people had been hospitalised and 87 suffered from adverse effects from the travel sickness medication Travelcalm. It was reported that the 19 individuals that were hospitalised suffered from vomiting, hallucination, heart palpitations and psychotic episodes after taking the drug. TGA investigators could not understand how one Travelcalm tablet had no side effects, but then other Travelcalm tablets would provoke people to try and jump out of planes and off ships. On these grounds, TGA called for an immediate investigation of the company to uncover the source of the crisis and subsequently prevent a bigger crisis from occurring. In the course of their audit, TGA identified widespread and serious deficiencies and failures in the company's manufacturing and quality control procedures. They identified that the test data was systematically and deliberately manipulated to give false results that a product was within specification to enable its release into the market. TGA also found safety-related irregularities such as several instances of the use of beef cartilage in place of shark cartilage and vice versa, poor hygiene and sanitation, misuse of raw materials, equipment that was not properly adjusted or faulty, and an ineffective internal inspection program. Pharmaceuticals' negligence and breach of the good manufacturing practice and therapeutic regulations on consumers instigated potential risks of death, fatal illness, and serious injury. In consequence to Pharmaceuticals' poor management, inadequate health and safety regulations, and misleading manufacturing and quality control procedures, TGA suspended their license to manufacture medicines for a period of 6 months and recalled all batches of medicines manufactured by them since the 1st of May 2002. There were approximately 1,600 manufactured products recalled in total. I have attached a link on the slideshow for anyone interested in a follow-up on the entire product list that was recalled. In this case, a gap existed between Pharmaceuticals' actions and the stakeholders' expectations. Stakeholders expected Pharmaceuticals to deliver quality and authentic products, but by deliberately manipulating the test data, their actions are not in line with those expectations, thus forming a legitimacy gap. In light of this, various businesses and suppliers of Pharmaceuticals products were forced to recall their products. Consequently, the recall led to an alarming and widespread impact on key stakeholders, namely Australian pharmaceutical companies, health and food stores, nutritional and fitness companies, consumers, overseas customers such as the United Kingdom, Canada, Hong Kong, and Vietnam, employees, shareholders, the Therapeutic Goods Administration, Food and Drug Administration, the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, and the complementary medicine industry. The urgent recall of Pharmaceuticals products left chemists, health and food, as well as nutritional and fitness companies pulling thousands of vitamins, oils, and cough syrups off the shelves, and refunding consumers who purchased Pharmaceuticals products under the instructions of the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission. Under the Sol Pattinson, Chemworld, and Pharmacist Advice brands, Australian pharmaceutical industries had recalled 40 products. Main Consumer had to recall 400 of its products, which caused them $20 million in lost sales, and Vita Life Sciences had to recall half its products. These are only a few examples of companies that contain products manufactured by Pharmaceuticals. To demonstrate the impact the recall had on stakeholders, I will draw on two examples. Naturopath and owner of Full Life Oxford Pharmacy in Darlinghurst stated that the whole complementary health industry has been dealt a savage credibility blow. It's been really damaging. There are less people in the natural health section. People are saying they don't trust taking vitamins anymore. They are all scared. A similar view is shared by Australian Medical Association President Dr. Karen Phelps. Where things presently stand, the evidence clearly tells us that complementary medicine faces a crisis of confidence in the wake of the Pharmaceuticals scandal. The actions of Pharmaceuticals have put the credibility of the entire complementary industry and movement at stake. Because of Pan's failures, the entire complementary and self-medication industry is now under scrutiny. Evidently, Pharmaceuticals' actions caused serious damage to its key stakeholders, initiating a devastating chain reaction. Consumers feared purchasing products, retailers and suppliers suffered substantial loss in revenue, shareholders lost millions of dollars, staff were laid off on account of financial setbacks, and public confidence in the medicine industries declined immensely. Subsequently, the question that arises is, what was the impact on Pharmaceutical and how did they manage it? During the recall, Pharmaceutical suffered significant losses. The company endured constant negative media attention as the disgraced manufacturer, the incessant scrutiny of TGA, the resentment and distrust of affiliated companies and consumers, and the substantial loss in products, revenue, stakeholders, shares, reputation, and assets equating to a $390 million debt. In terms of the substantial losses they faced, the directors of the Pharmaceuticals appointed T. McGrath and C. Honey of KPMG as liquidators of the company. In order to preserve the businesses and maximize returns to creditors, the liquidators implemented a range of strategies as follows. Actively managing manufacturing facilities, processes, documentation, and retraining of staff to meet the requirements of TGA license, conducting a sale process for the business, making a claim against the former CEO of Pharmaceuticals, Jim Selim, for breach of director's duties, executing a recall logistics program to manage and validate the products returned by customers, and developing an appropriate claims settlement procedure to assess the claims made by sponsors, retailers of product, and consumers. The outcome of these strategies achieved the reinstatement of softgel manufacturing license, a going concern sale of the business following its relicensing, a multi-million-dollar out-of-court settlement from Jim Selim, managing down claims from $390 million to $134 million, and affording an overall return of 45 cents in the dollar to creditors. Pharmaceuticals crisis could not have been prevented. The influence of the media and TGA's indiscreet audits and recalls guaranteed its unavoidability. In spite of Pan Pharmaceuticals' eventual collapse, the crisis was managed effectively under the dire circumstances it was situated in. Liquidators McGrath and C. Honey took the measures that were necessary to preserve the company, but in consequence of Pan Pharmaceuticals' substantial debt and weakened reputation, the company was too far gone. Before I summarize key points, I would like to add that the former CEO of Pan Pharmaceuticals, Jim Selim, was compensated $50 million plus legal fees from the federal government on account of TGA's negligent decision to suspend the company's license. I will now move on to summarize the key points. Pan Pharmaceuticals Limited was Australia's leading contract healthcare manufacturer for mineral and herbal products. Led by an investigation by the Therapeutic Goods Administration, Australia had witnessed the biggest medical recall in Australian history. TGA called for an immediate investigation after 19 people had been hospitalised and 87 suffered from adverse effects from the travel sickness medication Travelcalm. TGA's audit discovered that the test data was systematically and deliberately manipulated. The use of beef cartilage was substituted for shark cartilage, poor hygiene and sanitation, the misuse of raw materials, equipment that was not properly adjusted or faulty, and an ineffective internal inspection program. TGA suspended their license to manufacture medicines for a period of 6 months and recalled all batches of medicines manufactured by them since the 1st of May 2002. The recall led to an alarming and widespread impact on key stakeholders. Pan Pharmaceuticals suffered significant losses, enduring negative media attention, scrutiny of TGA, distrust of affiliated companies and consumers, and the substantial loss in products, revenue, stakeholders, shares, reputation, and assets equating to a $390 million debt. Pan Pharmaceuticals appointed T. McGrath and C. Honey as liquidators of the company. Liquidators implemented a range of strategies. The outcome of these strategies transformed claims from $390 million to $134 million. But overall, the crisis could not have been prevented. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Please see my references attached.